Chapter 71. Keeping a low profile even if one's strength can carry a boar. Time flies, and with the blink of an eye, it was already the middle of June, the summer night, with the golden arc of the moon hanging high in the sky, shining its radiance on the green mountain lands. The winds blew, and the leaves danced with the moonlight. The song of the cicadas and bullfrogs were simultaneous with each other. At times the sound of a wolf howling could be heard from afar, echoing throughout the green mountain. On a riverbank, a creek was scrubbing over a piece of smooth cliff rock. Beside this bank, a battle was ongoing. A mountain boar covered in fine and deep wounds all over kicked its legs and rushed forward once more towards Fang Yuan. The blood was pouring from its wounds, marking a road of fresh red liquid. Fang Yuan wrestled with it, showing no signs of panic. The wild boar was on the verge of death, but it was precisely these moments that wild beasts are the most dangerous. Using the last remaining potential of their lives, their insanity and tenacity could cause one to get gravely injured at any careless moment. Fang Yuan was peaceful, his black iris glowing eerily under the moonlight, showing the light of absolute calmness. He had the experience of 500 years. A part of him was engrossed in combat, while another disengaged from the battle and remained alert towards the surroundings. Many times when he was hunting wild boars, other animals came to wreak havoc. At times, a wild boar, another time wild wolves, and even once a wandering tiger. As time passed, the wild boar's attacks gradually slowed down. Fang Yuan's eyes shone brightly as he took a few strides forward, getting close to the wild boar. Raising strength in his shoulder and arms, he carried and raised the wild boar in one breath. Huff! Fang Yuan growled as his face was puffed red, his arms stretching out and raising the wild boar high above his head. The wild boar feebly struggled. Fang Yuan's body was unstable. He used all his strength to throw the wild boar. With a boom, the wild boar was thrown onto a large rock by the riverbank. It cried pitifully as sounds of its bones breaking could be heard. It fell down from the large rock, blood oozing out from its ears, nose and mouth. It struggled a few times before drawing its final breath. The surroundings regained its peace. The river water flowed endlessly, carrying the boar's blood along the river to some faraway place. My strength right now can compete with a boar. Tonight I'll go try that giant rock at the passageway. Fang Yuan stood on the spot, breathing in heavily with a hint of excitement flashing across his eyes. These days he had used the white boar goo nonstop to increase the strength of his body. He could feel strongly now that his strength was getting bigger. Back then when he fought wild boars, he could only use a kiting technique with the moon blade, but now he could even carry the wild boar. So the increment of his strength had shown great progress. Of course, the white boar goo would not endless given strength. The limit was a boar's strength, and once he reached the limit, it would no longer grant him any additional strength. I can carry a wild boar now, but that does not mean I can go head-to-head with a boar, like how a strong man can carry another strong man. But it does not mean they have equal strength. My strength can continue to grow. Feeding all the pork to the white boar goo, Fang Yuan used his hunting knife to retrieve the boar's teeth, and finally diced up the already heavily torn boar skin, before going into the secret cave in the rock crack. As for the boar's corpse, it did not need him to do anything. During the summer night, wild beasts roamed freely, and not long after, there should be wild beasts picking up the scent of the blood and rush here to clean the scene for Fang Yuan. Or rather, even if someone found out, it was inconsequential. The wild boar's injuries were all edited by Fang Yuan, looking nothing like moonblade cuts. Back to the secret cave enveloped in red light, Fang Yuan threw the two wild boar teeth at a corner. The wild boar's teeth collided, causing a crisp sound. At this corner, there was already a pile of wild boar teeth. They were the results of Fang Yuan's hunting. Fang Yuan squirmed into the passageway, once again getting to the end of the tunnel. Walking on the tunnel, his footsteps could be heard echoing in the cave. His vision dyed red due to the light. Everything was unchanged. The giant rock was still there, quietly blocking his path. As for the hole created after digging out the earth treasury flower, it had already been filled up by Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan walked in front of the giant rock, raised both hands and pushed, although his face grew red with exertion, and he used all his strength. The giant rock did not move an inch. With my current strength, I can only carry a wild boar. But this giant rock, it is at least the weight of 5 to 6 boars. No wonder I cannot move it. The flower wine monk's strength inheritance is not that easily obtained. Fang Yuan's gaze shone as he estimated in his heart. He did not give up, but instead came out of the tunnel and returned to the secret room upstairs. Taking a bamboo tube from the corner of the wall, Fang Yuan sat on the ground and opened the lid. Taking out the beast's skin map and sheets of bamboo paper, he opened the beast's skin map and started to memorize it, using his fingers to draw on the traces on the map to aid in his memorization. Ever since he had obtained the map, he had been doing this every day. Fang Yuan did not have a storage-type goo. He could not bring the beast's skin map with him everywhere. Carrying a bamboo tube on him while battling is inconvenient too. Thus, Fang Yuan put in some effort and was prepared to stuff the entire beast skin map's content into his head. Some things, even if troublesome, had to be done. In a person's life, those who did not actively resolve problems due to fearing trouble would always face a dangerous predicament at the end. Fang Yuan understood this logic from his previous life. When one is young, their memory sure is good. I have already memorized more than half of this map. If I was old, I would probably forget the content while memorizing this. Of course, if I had a bookworm, I would feed this map to it, and from then on, as long as I do not lose the bookworm, I will be able to recall this map clearly forever. Fang Yuan had the liquor worm, whiteboard goo, and was now beginning to have insatiable greed, starting to crave the bookworm. The value of the bookworm was quite close to the liquor worm and whiteboard goo, all being rare species among the rank 1 goo worms. The market price was expensive, and they were often sold out in moments. In his previous life, Fang Yuan did not obtain the liquor worm or whiteboard goo, but he accidentally obtained a bookworm. This bookworm eventually advanced ranks with him and accompanied him for a whole 60 years. Forget it. Bookworms are rare and low in numbers. I won't be able to get one anytime soon. To speak the truth, my current stage is way better than my previous life at this point. Last time at this period, I was still a rank 1 initial stage, while the others like Fang Zheng, Qi Qing, Mo Bei were already upper stage, far beyond me. Fang Yuan was not someone who worried over nothing, quickly getting over it. He was rather satisfied with his current progress. He was a middle stage, and the others were also middle stage. With his C-grade talent, he could maintain the same speed as these A and B grades. It was not easy. Much effort was given to the liquor worm, as well as Fang Yuan's rich cultivating experience. The other aspect was also due to Fang Yuan. His active extortion had caused the classmates to bulk up on training their physical fighting skills under the help of their elders. Unknowingly, it caused them to be distracted, reducing the time they spent on nurturing their apertures. This resulted in everyone's cultivation level being even lower than Fang Yuan's past life. But even so, they were not so far from upper stage now. Gu Master's early stage of cultivation was rather easy, seeing effect in a short period of time. Especially Guyu Fangzhang, Mo Qin, and Qi Qing, their cultivation level had already creeped and even seemed to surpass Fang Yuan. With constant cultivation, these three with their talent, or the support behind them, had already begun to show their advantage. The lead that Fang Yuan had due to the liquor worm was starting to disappear. Of course, there was also the reason of him hunting recently and using the whiteboard goo to raise his strength, or spending much of his time and effort in doing so. At this rate, before long, someone will advance to upper stage. The first person that achieves upper stage will get a reward of 30 primeval stones. But this reward, I do not intend to contest for it. Fang Yuan had decided long ago that if he abandoned the whiteboard goo now and rushed for upper stage, he might have some hopes of winning. But that was not Fang Yuan's goal. 30 primeval stones might be good, but he did not lack primeval stones at the moment. The bigger reason was that he needed to remain concealed and keep a low profile to reduce other people's attention towards him, so that he can inherit the flower wine monk's strength inheritance successfully. This is his real motive. The academy has all sorts of rewards, but it is just carrots to pique the student's interest, and most importantly, it is a part of the family system. Fighting for these little rewards is not what a wise person would do. Fang Yuan collected his spirits and gazed at the beast skin map again. The beast skin map had 2 pages. One recorded the day while the other recorded the night. Many lines of different colors intertwined on it. These lines, some were straight, some were curved, but they all had their own specific meaning. Only Old Man Wang would be clear of their meaning, but it is a pity he died. But even if he was alive, by forcing him to speak, he might not say the truth. These days, Fang Yuan relied on his knowledge and experience, and according to the bamboo paper's comparison, he had already deciphered it all. The red cross represents danger. A forbidden zone. The area with the red cross seems to be surrounded by wild boars. It is probably a wild boar king there. With my current strength, I'm as good as dead if I encounter one. Humph. Thinking of Old Man Wang, Fang Yuan could not help but snort again. This area marked with a cross was not marked on the bamboo paper. If Fang Yuan really believed the bamboo paper, he would probably die by the fangs of the wild boar king one day. This old man Wang was indeed experienced. To avenge his son, he did not have to act himself, but borrowed the wild boar king's strength. This way, even if Fang Yuan dies, he would be able to avoid responsibility. But these 3 spots marked with a red circle, what do they mean? Fang Yuan was perturbed. This was the beast skin map's final suspicious point. 3 red circles, showing 3 very isolated areas. They were also very far apart, and had little surrounding beasts, considered safer areas in the wild. The red cross represents forbidden area, but what does the red circle represent? Fang Yuan fell into deep thoughts. Normally, red is the most alert color. Old man Wang marked these 3 areas, meaning they are important. It is a pity these areas are far. If not, I would inspect them myself and find the reason. Chapter 72. Any organization would also require loyalty. The hot summer sun blazes on, the mountain winds blowing the warm winds around, Qingmao Mountain steaming under the hot air. In the blink of an eye, it was already near the end of June. Gu Fangzheng. In the academy, the family elder called out. Gu Fangzheng got up from his seat and came before the academy elder. Under the admiring gaze of his classmates, Fangzheng received a heavy bag of primeval stones. Fangzheng, you are the first to advance to upper stage. This is your reward. Good job, continue working hard. Academy elder smiled pleasantly, patting Fangzheng's shoulders. Fangzheng acknowledged with a grunt, his face full of excitement. He took the money bag over with emotion and returned to his seat. I finally did it. The first to advance to upper stage. Do you see that, big brother? I finally beat you for once. His eyes shone with bright light as he swept his gaze over at Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan was sprawled on the table, sound asleep. Last night he had killed another wild boar, and after returning to the hostel, he used the white boar goo to improve his body and also used the natural essence within the primeval stones to refine his primeval essence using the liquor worm. Finally, he used his upper stage primeval essence to nurture his aperture, all the way until morning. He hurriedly ate breakfast before rushing to class, falling asleep as soon as he settled in. He was too exhausted, and Goo Master cultivation could not replace sleep. Even if you don't admit it, this is the truth. Big brother, I have finally surpassed you. This is the first, and there will be a second time, a third time. Fangzheng clenched his fists. This success was extremely meaningful to him. He had already broken through the dark clouds in his heart, creating an opening to allow light to penetrate in. Even though this light was thin, it gave Fangzheng hope and encouragement. I actually lost to that Fangzheng. Gumo sat on his seat, arms crossed, feeling indignant. This is the advantage of an A grade. Damn it, Gu Qiqing said with a dark expression. As he cultivated, he felt strongly the advantages of a good talent. Even with his grandfather Gu Qilian's support, plus his extremely hard work, he was still left behind by Fangzheng. If only I had a liquor worm, plus grandfather's help, I might not lose to Fangzheng. Those accursed Fang family brothers. Little brother is a grade, suppressing us, but the brother being a C grade has a liquor worm. Why did all the good things in this world go to these brothers? Gu Qiqing felt really indignant. This time Fangzheng broke through to upper stage first. Of course, he is a grade talent. Yeah, even Mobe, Qiqing, and Fang Yuan lost to Fangzheng. Fangzheng has gained all the attention this time. Fang Yuan having the liquor worm is not putting in effort. Wasting his time every day, even sleeping in class, he might as well give his liquor worm to me. The surrounding students discussed, feeling indignant in their hearts, helplessness and envy. The academy elder called them one by one, and students went up continuously to collect their primeval stones allowance and return to their seats. Everyone quietened down. After the allowance was given out, the academy elder used his hand to hit the table. All of a sudden, the academy became silent. Now, you've all mastered your second goo worm, and even so much as broke through into the upper stage. In the past half a year, you have all worked hard, and now you have some basics. It is time for you to train in the wilds. True battles are not scarecrows or puppets, wooden puppets that stand there and await your attacks. The following mid-year examination will be held 3 days later. All students have to attend. The examination content is to hunt wild boars. By collecting wild boar teeth as results to record, those who collect the most wild boar teeth will get better scores. At the end of the examination, each wild boar teeth can be exchanged for 10 primeval stones. Furthermore, you are allowed to hunt in groups. The Academy Elder's words caused a commotion among the students. The mid-year exam is finally here. Every year, students study at the Academy for a year, and there is always a mid-year exam and an end-of-year exam. Looking at the time, it really is time for the mid-year exam. Every year's examination content is different. To think that this year, our examination is to hunt and acquire wild boar teeth. What should we do? My talent is only D grade. My vital goo isn't an attack type like the moonlight goo. How can I hunt wild boars? Didn't you hear? The family elders said, we are allowed to hunt in groups. For those with talent that can't make it, or those with goo worms that aren't suitable, we can help each other and cooperate. When we get boar teeth, we just need to share with one another, and that would work. Each wild boar teeth can be exchanged for 10 primeval stones. This is the Academy encouraging us to hunt more wild boars, and the prize is set for that. For true market value, 1 primeval stone can buy 20 wild boar teeth. The students had varying expressions. Some were happy while others fretted. Some were eager to go, while others called on companions. Even Fang Yuan was slightly moved. It changed. I remember that last year's examination was to collect wildlife honey. To think that it changed to wild boar teeth. Is this the butterfly effect? A butterfly flapping its wings can cause a giant storm on the coast of another ocean. A small change in the initial conditions lead to drastic changes in the results. Ever since his rebirth, Fang Yuan had made many changes. The conditions of his current self was vastly different from his previous life. Back then, he had already been left behind by Fang Zheng and the others, but now he was adamantly at the top of the student board. In his past life, he did not kill Jiajin Xing. In fact, they did not even meet. But this life, he did not only kill Jiajin Xing, he even excavated the deeper treasures of the flower wine monk's inheritance. These changes are like a butterfly flapping its wings, indirectly causing changes to the environment. The mid-year examination change is only the first of such symptoms. If I continue changing things, will it cause history to become completely unrecognizable as well? In that case, the advantage from my rebirth would be significantly reduced. Fang Yuan looked calm, but was sighing internally. The feeling of inability and pressing urgency roamed his heart, but he quickly adjusted his mood. No matter what, since it has already happened, I can't stop it. What I need to do now is to actively change myself. Even if the events are completely different at the end, I would not slow down my growth just because of such concerns. In my past life, I knew nothing about the future. Does that mean that in my current life I lack courage? Even if the world is full of thorns, I will cut through all the thorns in my way and pave out a blood-filled path myself. Every teeth for 10 primeval stones. This price is very high. Should I sell all those wild boar fangs I have stocked up at the cave? But if I do, I might attract suspicion? No. According to the Guyu clan's political situation, if I sell these wild boar teeth publicly, I might get screwed over. Fang Yuan shook his head. The risks were too big. If he really sold these teeth, what could he get in return? A little over 100 primeval stones. Wait, primeval stones aren't important. Maybe I can use this change to construct my image again. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan's eyes shone brightly. He needed to get rich secretly now, being as low profile as possible. If the flower wine monk's inheritance was exposed, he might even lose his life. But his current position was awkward. He stood against all his classmates, being outside the system, and among the higher-ups, he was an untamable, unhappy, and indignant. Intelligent and cold, C-grade talent teenager. This image was not good. It literally portrayed him as unloyal. But a clan requires loyalty. In fact, any organization requires loyalty. No matter which world, loyalty is the value that is most sought after in clans. Loyalty to the clan, loyalty to the country, loyalty to his leader, loyalty to his loved one, loyalty to his friends, etc. As Fang Yuan's cultivation level got higher, the higher-ups would only get more concerned, and if needed, the family may even use hard-handed methods on him. At that point, Fang Yuan would be really thrown into passivity. Fang Yuan did not like passiveness. He liked to have the control of all matters tightly in his grip. Because of a series of events before, Fang Yuan could only operate on the go, relying on outside strength, and this image he constructed was only to protect himself in times of need. But now that he could protect himself, Fang Yuan needed to be stronger. Thus, he needed to change this image, letting the higher-ups think that he had given up and joined the clan system. But this conversation cannot be too abrupt, or it would be suspicious. More importantly, joining the system is only a facade. Fang Yuan would not really join them truly and be manipulated and restricted. He had too many secrets that he needed large amounts of freedom, and in actuality he was still a loner in operation. But now the mid-year exam was a chance. It seems I have to do some plotting. I'll start from the extortion then. Fang Yuan's gaze became certain as everything fell into his scheme. Chapter 73. The Mysterious Red Circle Marking. You said that during Fang Yuan's extortion this time, although he defeated Fang Zheng, Qi Cheng, and Mo Bei, he let go of them and did not take their primeval stones. Hearing the guard's report, the Academy elder revealed a slightly shocked expression. I dare not lie to Lord. It is indeed like this. The guard kneeling on the ground immediately responded. The Academy elder did not express his opinion and waved his hand. I have understood this matter. You may go. Your subordinate takes his leave. Once the guard had left, the Academy elder immediately fell into deep thoughts. He was originally concerned with this matter, as he was afraid Fang Yuan would snatch away the 30 primeval stones that Fang Zheng had gotten as a reward. If that was the case, the Academy's reward system would have no meaning. They might as well give everything to Fang Yuan, that if Fang Yuan really did that, the Academy would not allow it. And the Academy elder was already prepared to punish Fang Yuan. But he did not expect that not only did Fang Yuan have no intention to take the 30 primeval stones from Fang Zheng, he even let go of Mo Bei and Qi Cheng as well. Fang Yuan has hundreds of primeval stones on hand. He might not be too concerned with the 30 primeval stones. That is understandable. But giving up on extorting Mo Bei, Qi Cheng, and Fang Zheng, what is the reason? The Academy elder contemplated, his eyebrows gradually easing. He had understood something. Mo Bei, Qi Cheng, and Fang Zheng. They could be said to represent the 3 factions of the clan. Letting go of them, the meaning was that he was appealing to the 3 different factions. This was understandable, as Fang Yuan's attitude change meant that he was finally willing to lower his head to the clan. Understandable. As he cultivated, Fang Yuan may have the liquor worm, but the situation has gotten clearer to him. The inability of a C-grade talent, after a few outbursts, and letting go of the majority of his negative feelings, he is probably rather downhearted and depressed now. It seems the clan leader's words make sense. Fang Yuan is after all a 15-year-old. How can he go against the clan system? Now that he has started to accept reality, once he finds the position that he belongs to, he would fuse into the clan naturally. Thinking of this, the Academy elder breathed out a sigh of relief, his feelings becoming more cheerful. 3 days passed in a flash. Soon, the mid-year exam was here. Faster, faster, I've lured the wild boar out. A youngster ran as he shouted out frantically. On both his legs, there was a light green ring of swirling wind. With these 2 rings, it led to him having above-average speed at such a young age. However, the wild boar chasing after him became faster and faster, and the distance between them was shortening. The scorching sun penetrated the forest and reflected on the wild boar, causing both its teeth to shine brightly. The wild boar is coming. Hold the rope tightly. The 4 ambushing youngsters quickly hid in the bushes and pulled the ropes tightly, instantly forming a tripping rope. The speeding youngster leapt lightly, jumping over the road, and continued running. But the boar behind him tripped over the rope and fell harshly on the ground, crashing 5 to 6 meters before stopping. Ow! The 4 youngsters were pulled along by the rope and fell to the ground along with the wild boar. Strike! The youngster running ahead turned around and shouted. The few people lying on the ground frantically stood up and surrounded the wild boar. Kacha, a small budding tree, under the impact of the wild boar, snapped in half, and the tree crown fell to the ground. What a close shave! Guyu Qi Cheng wiped the sweat off his forehead, feeling lingering fear. Luckily, I managed to use the dragon pill cricket goo and leapt 3 meters to the left. Otherwise, this tree would have been my outcome. Pew pew pew. Moonblade danced in the air as it hit the wild boar's body, causing long and shallow cuts. Mo Bei's face was excited, his eyes glowing, his spirits immersed in this battle. Half an hour later, the wild boar collapsed due to excessive loss of blood. Bei breathed roughly and also sat on the ground, his entire body full of mud and grass, at the same time full of sweat. Fighting against a living being like the wild boar is indeed different from the wooden puppet, grass. Puppet during practice battles. I spent 30 minutes just to kill a wild boar. I wonder how are the others doing. On a hidden small hill, there was a temporarily built tent. The tent blocked the punishing sun rays and casted an area of cool, dark, shadowy shade. Under the cover, there was a few chairs and tables, with the Academy elders sitting at the main seat. Beside him, there were other clan elders. A few Gu masters were standing behind them to eye in the surrounding forests around the tent. There were also some hidden Gu masters at this time. The forest ahead had an abnormal disturbance. Whoosh! A Gu master emerged from the forest like a shadow and quickly ran out, kneeling outside the tentage. "How is the situation?" Academy elder asked. Reporting to Lord Elder, "At this point, there are no casualties among the students." The Gu master quickly answered, "Good, good." An afternoon had already gone by since the mid-year exam started. To have no injuries, this is different from the past years. It looks like this is all the Academy elders' effort. The other clan elders nodded satisfactorily, praising in turns. The Academy elder shook his head slightly. He knew the reason. This was due to Fang Yuan's emergence, extorting his classmates, causing them to practice hard on basic martial arts. Thus, having such a performance, he looked towards the kneeling Gu master and continued asking. Then at this point, whose results are the best? The Gu master answered immediately, reporting to Lord. At this point, Guyu Fang Yuan, Fang Zhang, Mo Bei, Qi Cheng are leading. Qi Cheng killed 3 boars, Fang Zhang and Mo Bei killed 5, and Fang Yuan has the most at 8. Oh, to think Fang Yuan is leading. In all the years, it is a very rare sight that A and B grade talents are being suppressed by a C grade. He has the liquor worm, right? That means he has upper stage green copper primeval essence. So to have such a result, it is understandable. I believe that from now on, Fang Zhang, Mo Bei, and Qi Cheng would surpass him. Although he has the liquor worm, his primeval essence recovery rate cannot compare to A, B grade talents. The other clan elders discussed. You may go. Academy elder waved his hand towards the kneeling Gu master. Instruct the others. Focus on their protecting job. Especially Fang Zhang, Qi Cheng, and Mo Bei. Pay more attention and ensure their safety. Yes, Lord. The Gu master retreated. These outdoor combats to most students, it was really their first time. Thus, there was danger, and the clan naturally has plans. Dozens of rank 2 Gu masters were concealed in the forests, controlling the safety of this entire examination. At the same time, some rank 3 clan elders were staying here to anticipate sudden accidents. The blazing sun slowly descended from the highest point in the sky, gradually nearing the northeast mountains. The sunset glow ignited the clouds. It was the sun's last flow of passion as the last sunlight shone into the forest. Another wild boar fell on the ground. 23rd. Fang Yuan calculated in his heart, and then squatted down, skillfully carving out a wild boar teeth. There was a bag on his back. Inside was a large number of wild boar teeth, at the same time. He had another bag, carrying the teeth of those boars he killed last time. These teeth were originally stored in the rock crack secret cave, and were retrieved by Fang Yuan the previous night, stored into a bag and buried in a secret location. I am familiar with the terrain and wild boar distribution. At the same time, I have upper stage primeval essence to use the moonlight goo together with the little light goo. The other's efficiency definitely cannot compare to me. Just with this bag on me, I can get number 1 easily. I wonder what expressions they would show when I take out the other bag later. Hee. Fang Yuan looked at the sky. It was time to retrieve the other bag. Thinking of this, in his head, a map showed up. These days, he had memorized the beast skin map. Fang Yuan was clear of his current position. If he turned left and walked along the stream for 15 minutes, he would reach the location where he buried the bag. But when he was about to move, he hesitated. With my current location, I am only 500 to 600 meters away from the nearest red circle marking. Such a rare chance. Should I go take a look? Once he had the thought, it was unstoppable, since he had already won anyway. Fang Yuan had a lot of time left. That beast skin map had 3 red circle markings. These 3 locations were very important to Old Man Wang. It is also the only meaning that I could not decipher on the map. I'll go see. Fang Yuan naturally knew that there were Gu masters controlling the scene, but this was also why he needed evidence. Immediately, he acted like he was going to continue killing wild boars, and moved deeper into the forest. 7 minutes later, He arrived at the red marking location that a treehouse was hidden among the bushes on a huge tree, and if one did not observe closely, they would not be able to find it. This is Old Man Wang's temporary residence while hunting? Fang Yuan frowned. His heart getting confused, he climbed into the treehouse. When he saw the sight in the treehouse, his expression changed. Chapter 74. Solving the mystery with knowledge and discovering killing intent. The space in the treehouse isn't large, but there were many items inside, so at one glance it seemed extremely messy. The floor in the center had a thick dark yellow-colored carpet. Inside the house, there was an iron stove beside the wall, and on it there was a bronze kettle. Inside the stove there was black-colored soot, and beside it there was a small pile of unburnt dried firewood. Despite it being summer, the nights in this mountain were still icy cold. The iron stove could maintain the entire treehouse's warmth when lit, despite its small size. The treehouse has 2 sets of windows, 2 to 3 ropes wrapped as the frame of the windows. Connecting the 2 together in the middle of the room, on the rope hanged several torn pieces of clothing. The torn patches pieced together. It was obviously an adult's clothing and was still slightly damp, not completely dry from the sun yet. The light of the setting sun penetrated the windows and shone inside the treehouse. The treehouse was rather dark internally. At a corner there were axes and hunting knives with beast skin wrapped on the handle. On the blade there was even dark red blood traces. On the other side of the wall, there was a piece of bamboo paper with a dagger stabbed in the middle. There was a young man's face on the bamboo paper. It was Fang Yuan's appearance. This all meant that during this short period, someone had come to the hidden treehouse and lived here. The person's intention was obvious. His target was Fang Yuan. The paper was stabbed by a dagger and showed his evil intent to the extremes. Such a scenario, even Fang Yuan was taken aback. What does this person want? And why is he against me? No, maybe it isn't me but Fang Zheng. Fang Yuan's thoughts flew all over his mind. Fang Zheng was an A-grade talent, the only one in the last 3 years of the Guyu clan, and is their only hope. If he could be truly nurtured, he would be the next figure in the clan. But nurturing was a process. During this process, there were calamities and human-made disasters. Ignoring calamities, the most important was human disasters. As everyone knew, Qingmao Mountain did not only have the Guyu clan, but also the Bai clan and Xiong clan. These 2 forces would not be happy to see the dominating Guyu clan successfully nurturing an A-grade talent. Thus, sending assassins to get rid of him was a common thing. In this world, there are little geniuses, and even less of those who could successfully grow up. A grade talent Gu masters, it was not that they did not exist. 3 years ago, one appeared in the Guyu clan. In even earlier generations, they also appeared on occasions. But on Qingmao Mountain, out of the 3 clans in these years, there was only one successful A-grade talent nurtured, the Bai clans by Ning Bing of rank 3 cultivation. Such a scenario was enough to say many things. This person, is he from the Bai clan or the Xiong clan? They want to get rid of Guyu Fang Zheng so soon. Fang Yuan frowned, staring at the portrait. But why did Old Man Wang's beast skin map indicate this tree house? Was he a spy from the other forces? No, this person is obviously after me. Fang Yuan's eyes shone with brilliance. At this moment, he thought of many scenes. The first time, it was beside the trap. In the 4 hunters' conversation, a hunter said, "Second brother Wang, you're almost 19. It is time you got married and have children." Wang Er said, "As a true man, how can I be lusting after such small beauty? One day, I will walk out of this Qingmao Mountain and roam the world, learn everything in the world and live up to the expectations of my male body." The second time was after he himself acted. Wang Er's peculiar calmness. He pulled his bow and pointed at Fang Yuan. The others were already begging for forgiveness. The third was when Fang Yuan was asking questions. "I ask you, in Old Man Wang's family, who else is there?" A hunter answered. Hunter Wang originally had a wife, but that was decades ago, and she was killed by wild wolves that intruded the village. Before his wife died, she gave birth to 2 sons and a daughter. But the oldest son Wang died on the mountain while hunting 3 years ago. There is no one else in the Wang family. I remember. Old Man Wang actually also has a daughter-in-law, Wang Da's old wife. But after Wang Da disappeared, his wife died due to a broken heart. That year, the village even specially sent down a chastity memorial arch. But rumor has it that Wang Da's wife wanted to remarry, and she was actually hounded to death by Old Man Wang. When you killed Old Man Wang, Lord, you are helping us citizens, rooting out the evil and bringing people peace. The other hunter quickly added, That's right. Actually, Lord, We have long found this old Wang unfavorable. Humph, he's nothing special, just that he can hunt better than us. We're all just mortals, yet he thinks he's more special than us and purposely moved out of the village to live here. As the younger generation, we sometimes will ask him to teach us and impart his experiences, but he would just outright chase us away and never allow us to show up again near the wooden house. Old Man Wang's family, moving out of the village, away from people, eldest son Wang Da, died on the mountains 3 years ago while hunting. Wang Da's wife wanted to remarry and was forced to commit suicide by Old Man Wang and obtained a chastity memorial arch. Old Man Wang chased away all the young hunters who were trying to ask for guidance. Old Man Wang tried his best to hide the beast's skin map, and on the bamboo paper, there were no such circles. Wang Er was at such a young age, but was calm towards Gu masters. At the same time, he did not marry, and had the aspiration to surpass mortal realm in his heart. Most importantly, the circles on the beast's skin map indicated a hidden realm. There was obvious human activity in the area. At the same time, this person held strong hatred towards Fang Yuan. All the clues pieced together. If separated, they were not easy to link, but once linked, it was peculiar. The more Fang Yuan thought about it, the more he felt that the mist shrouding this mystery has thinned. The setting sun's afterglow passed through the window and reflected upon his face, the strong light alike to the color of blood. The surroundings had fallen into a deadly silence. Was there someone secretly peeping at him all? This time, suddenly, Fang Yuan's eyes lit up, his vision crossing through time and space. He had seen the truth. Wang Da did not die. At this moment, the glow in his eyes radiated the surroundings. Not only did he not die, he even became a demonic Gu master by chance. It was not that mortals had no cultivating talent, but that the clan restricted the cultivation methods from leaking out and controlled it tightly in their hands. But there was no absolute in this world. Mortals could become Gu masters as well. From accidents in the wild and encountering the Hope Gu, opening their aperture, or inheriting a certain strength inheritance, or getting the personal guidance from a certain clan's member. But these Gu masters were not accepted into the clan completely, and could only be their henchmen. Thus, they would not be satisfied and became loner Gu masters. Their cultivation is extremely difficult. As time passed, as they competed for resources, they would have to kill, snatch, and murder, turning towards the demonic path, because of some lucky chance. The highest possibility is that he obtained a large fortune from a certain Gu master's corpse and became a Gu master 3 years ago. To hide from others, he sent out the fake information that he died, but no one had ever seen his corpse. Old Man Wang's family found out about this and moved out of the village, risking the chance that wild beasts might invade, and lived alone, just to hide this truth. But there were some problems that occurred. Wang Da's wife did not agree and might have wanted to report to the Guyu clan. Wang family had no choice but to kill her and release some seemingly real and fake information to hide the truth. Something about her remarrying or forcing her to commit suicide to hide the truth under all these rumors. Once in a while, Wang Da would return home to stay. Thus, Old Man Wang had to chase those youngsters who were seeking guidance away. Wang Er, after interacting with his brother, had dispelled his fear of Gu masters and naturally developed the goal of wanting to be a Gu master and explore the greatness of the outside world. Because of the fear that Wang Da might be exposed, even at such an old age, Wang Er did not get married. Wang Da could not stay in the house. Thus, Old Man Wang drew 3 red circles on the beast's skin map. These 3 locations should be hidden residential areas like this. Having 3 hiding spots, Wang Da rotated his stay around the houses and lived in the fringe of the 3 clans' authority. The meaning of the 3 red circles was finally revealed. Red indicated alertness, but most importantly to Old Man Wang, this was his eldest son's residence. Thus, when Fang Yuan wanted the old man to draw the map, he did not indicate it on the bamboo paper. It was to protect his son. Similarly, he drew fewer red crosses to avenge the death of his son. Maybe at a certain time each year, Wang Da will return home to stay for a while. When he returned, he found that his entire family was dead. After asking around, he found out it was me. Thus he used the dagger to pin my portrait on the wall, so that he would exact revenge on me. With his previous life's experience, Fang Yuan was almost certain this was the truth. If it was some other power that wanted to assassinate Fang Zheng, they could be much more subtle. They did not have to develop a spy like Old Man Wang. After all, Old Man Wang lived at the mountain foot, not inside the Guyu village. To think that over a beast skin map, I provoked a murderer of the demonic faction. This world really works in wondrous ways. Fang Yuan could not help but snicker. He first killed Wang Er, the old man Wang and Wang's daughter, and it was all for the beast skin map. Old man Wang was the #1 hunter in the village, so his beast skin map had the greatest value. At that time he was thinking, it's merely 3 mortal lives, what's the big deal? I'll just killing them conveniently. In this world, anyone had the right to live, and anyone could die just as easily. To think that out of nowhere, a demonic Wagyu master emerged. With regards to this, Fang Yuan did not have a tin of regret, but instead felt at ease. If he had been too merciful at the time in his goal to obtain the Wang family beast skin map, Wang heir, old man Wang and sister Wang would have been a huge disturbance. To protect Wang Da's secret, that would not give him the real product. Wang heir's battle strength could exterminate an ordinary rank 1 upper stage Gu master. Old man Wang was even more experienced with age, and in terms of killing strength, he was even more of a threat than Wang heir. Even if he had gotten the real product, old man Wang would have informed Wang Da, and Wang Da would have gotten Fang Yuan's information immediately. No matter how he dealt with it, he would be in the shadows while Fang Yuan was out in the open. Wang Da would be having the advantage of being in control of the situation. Good thing I killed them at the start. Regardless of what, I have to control the situation in my own palm. This way, even if I do not get the real item, there is no loss to me, and I can even snatch other hunters. Killing old man Wang and that girl caused Wang Da to spend a lot of time just to get my intel. Needless to say, those 2 young hunters must have already been silenced. Fang Yuan confirmed in his heart. There was only a few people who knew the situation, and Wang Da would not attack Jianghe. Once Jianghe is dead, the clan would send people to investigate. But if those 2 hunters disappeared on the mountain, it was easy to manipulate. Jianghe would not reveal an incident like this as it would affect the clan's evaluation of him, and would even cover up the situation. 1. Glow in his eyes radiated the surroundings is a metaphor. Chapter 75. Resolution of the Demonic Way. The thoughts of Fang Yuan flew all over the place in the tree house. With the knowledge acquired from his previous life, Fang Yuan could sense Wang Da's existence. But how was his strength? Fang Yuan had never seen this Wang Da. But with the information at hand, there was much he could analyze from this. Courage is built upon the basis of strength. He had collected my information and still wants to exact revenge on me. With such a confidence, his cultivation has to be above rank 1. These 3 years he had been moving around the 3 red-circled areas, living on the fringe of the 3 clan villages. Almost every day he faced the risk of getting discovered and purged. This shows he does not have the strength to roam outside, and roaming outside requires rank 3 cultivation. This means that, at first evaluation, he is a rank 2. Fang Yuan's eyes glinted with cold light. Counting the time, he disappeared for 3 years and cultivated to rank 2 now. So he should be a B or C grade talent, and his aperture should have about 40 to 70% primeval essence. These 3 years, he could survive and at the same time, live at home despite Jianghe's observation. So he has to have a stealth type of Gu worm at work. Information was the most important thing to a Gu master showdown. Although Fang Yuan had no investigative type Gu worm, with his experience and knowledge, he could forcefully reverse engineer Wang Da's cultivation level and Gu worms to a highly plausible degree. Very quickly, his mental image of a rank 2 demonic faction Gu master appeared, carrying the hatred of his family's murder and lurking somewhere to kill his revenge target. I can kill others. Others can naturally come to kill me. This is nothing. Fang Yuan laughed lightly. In this world, anyone had the right to live, and anyone had the chance to die. Those who kill are bound to get killed. Since he committed murder, he should be mentally prepared to get killed. If he was killed like that, then he would die like that. It was nothing much, and definitely no regrets. This was the path he chose. This point, Fang Yuan had great resolve already. This is the resolution of the demonic way. Wang heir wants to kill me. Then in this mid-year exam, it is definitely the best chance. Normally, students would reside in the village, and with his rank 2 cultivation, he cannot creep into the village, that is courting death. Maybe he evaluated that I might come out to hunt. But Qingmao Mountain is so huge, he alone has to hide his traces and also have to search for me. It is too difficult. Now that there's this chance, he is most likely to strike. He is a rank 2 Gu master, and one that has struggled for 3 years, living a life of danger and unknown, a demonic faction Gu master nurtured like this. With my current battle strength, I am definitely not his match. But this does not mean that I have no chance of survival. Escape, Fang Yuan instantly decided. Nothing is too shameless if it is to survive, so if he can't fight it, run. For a Gu master to make a sudden breakthrough is almost never happening. Fighting against a higher realm is possible, but that is built on the base that the Gu master has special Gu worms. Fang Yuan had a number of Gu worms in his possession, but the spring-autumn cicada was hibernating and unusable, while the liquor worm, white boar Gu, little light Gu, and moonlight Gu were not trump cards to fight a higher realm. Obviously knowing the enemy was unbeatable, yet resolving to fight to the death. That is a stupid, hot-blooded behavior. Even if he wins, that would not win him the favor of fate. Fang Yuan is cautious his entire life, even with trump cards, and if the chances of victory is slim, he would choose to avoid combat. He liked to be in control of the situation, using unscrupulous methods to raise his chances to the limit. He loved fighting assured battles. Only when he has no choice would he engage in a risky fight. Thus, his favorite activity was to bully the weak and snatch resources to get stronger. Strong enough until he surpasses his enemies and then stomp on them afterwards, bullying the weak. There is nothing shameless about this. Those who find challenges just to prove their bravery and risk their lives to fight to the death with strong enemies. That is the real stupidity, but unfortunately, this quality has been praised and recommended. Because any organization needed the individual to sacrifice themselves to protect the interests of the ones in power. One just needs to think slightly. To know that survival is the prerequisite to all activities in order to survive and fulfill the ambitions on their heart. This is a person's greatest courage. Dying for aspiration, those are fools. Surviving shamelessly for their ambitions, those are true brave warriors. On earth, Han Exine, 1. Endured the shame of crawling through someone's legs. Chow Chow, 2. Was chased till he shaved his beard and torn his robe. Yu Wang, 3. In order to live, had to eat shit to express his loyalty. That's why, fuck off with honor and reputation, and face, regardless of organization, they would applaud such a value system. The more that needed to be sacrificed, the more they would be promoted, like a military. Which direction should I go? The one that has the lowest chance of encountering Wang De? A map appeared in Fang Yuan's mind. Wang De already knows I have the beast skin map. Now he should be hiding in the forest, searching for me by looking for the wild boar distribution on the map. I cannot go to these places, thus I can only move in reverse to find a chance to survive. Thinking of this, a slightly insane route surfaced in Fang Yuan's mind. Under the sunset in the mountain forest, tree shadows overlapped and wild grass grew abundantly. The pair of bloodshot eyes hid deep in the shadows. His eyes burnt with hatred and anger, as if it couldn't be doused even with a tsunami. Fang Yuan, I finally found you. Wang De gritted his teeth, growling the words out from his mouth. Under his gaze, not far away, a youngster with a thin body and pale face was traversing the forest. With his enemy nearby, Wang De did not act immediately, but turned his gaze to several other positions. From each of these positions, an invigilator Gu master was hidden to prevent cheating and for immediate treatment of injuries. The area nearby had around a few dozen rank 2 Gu masters hiding. There was even rank 3 clan elders holding the fort on the mountains high up. Wang De carefully moved around the forest and collected a lot of intel. I want to kill Fang Yuan, so I need to get rid of these 3 Gu masters first. Otherwise, once I show myself, I will be disturbed. Maybe with surprise, I can kill Fang Yuan, but I will also get killed by the Gu masters that chase after me from there. I have rank 2 middle stage cultivation, and there's 50% primeval essence in my body. I have to act first and kill these 3 Gu masters. It is difficult. I have to strike consecutively in a very short period. Otherwise, once they find their companions dead, they would become alert and my traces will be exposed. Shadow follower Gu. Wang De closed his eyes and called in his heart. Immediately, his body became enshrouded in a lump of darkness and could move among the tree shadows. All was silent in a thick bush nearby. The Guyu clan's rank 2 Gu master sprawled inside, yawning out of boredom. So boring. Accompanying these junior students, I feel like a nanny. This Gu master complained softly, not feeling the shadow that was slowly creeping around him. The pair of bony hands stretched out from the shadows. This pair of hands was pale to the limit. The joints were huge, and the 10 nails were sharp and long. The nails dyed a shade of dark purple and emitted a slightly fishy smell. What smell is this? The Guyu clan Gu master sniffed, frowning subconsciously. He just wanted to investigate, but it was too late. Wang De pounced like a snake, striking at lightning speed. One hand covered the Gu master's mouth and nose, while the other stabbed from the shadows towards his back. His dark purple nails were sharp as blades, his fingers easily entering the Gu master's body and reaching his heart. The fingernails were poisonous, and at that moment it invaded the heart. Through the blood, it spread all over the Gu master's body. The Gu master's body stiffened and lost all signs of life. Although they were both rank 2 Gu masters, one had assaulted abruptly with preparation, so before the battle even begun, it had ended. I used 10% of my primeval essence, 40% left. Wang De checked his aperture and fused into the shadows once again. A moment later, the second Gu master hiding behind a rock also met his assault. His eyes shrunk to pin size as he collapsed on the ground. The poison invaded his body, and soon he turned purple, and from his nose 2 streams of purple blood flowed out. 30% left. Wang De chanted silently, turning into shadows again. Who is it? The third Gu master was hiding on a tree branch atop a huge tree. At the crucial moment, he sensed something wrong, and at the time where Wang De struck, he turned around and grabbed the 2 poisonous hands. Damn it! Wang De laughed sinisterly, his 10 nails growing crazily, at once becoming 5 centimeters long, stabbing the Gu master's forearm and piercing his skin. His forearm bled, and the blood quickly turned dark purple. This is the love-life separation? The third Gu master, seeing this, was shocked beyond doubt. The purple poison had already infected his face. He knew he had no poison resistance Gu worm and was surely dead. Thus he showed resolve on his face, shouting, "Then let's die together." He opened his mouth and stretched out his tongue. There was a crescent moon tattoo on his tongue. It was the moonlight Gu. A moonblade shot out and slashed Wang Da's right shoulder, piercing through and coming out from his back. The blood splattered. Wang Da grunted, his body swaying a little, but the Gu master had already passed away, with a trace of life left. Correct, this is love-life separation. Wang Da stood on the tree branch, slowly standing up, showing a bitter smile. Love-life separation, the number 1 poison among the rank 2 Gu worms. To refine it, one needs the rank 1 life breath grass, widow spider, red needle scorpion, and the heart of a lover to refine this Gu worm. Wang Da killed his own wife, who loved him deeply, and dug out her heart. It is all for survival. I could only choose strength. This is the resolution of my demonic path. Wang Da's eyes were red as he stared tightly at the nearby youngster. I gave up on love, and only had kinship left, but you took them from me. Fang Yuan, he growled lowly. I want you to regret deeply all that you did. 1. Han Xing, Han Xn, famous general of First Emperor Han Emperor Liu Bang. 2. Cao Cao, Cao Cao, famous statesman and general at the end of Han, noted poet and calligrapher, later warlord, founder and first king of Chao Wei, father of Emperor Chao Pai, as well as the main villain of the novel The Romance of Three Kingdoms. 3. Yuang / King Go Jian of Yu, sometimes considered one of the 5 hegemons.